Welcome back, everybody. It's Crochet and Chaos with coffee if you choose to go that route. I am Melly, and across from me, many, many states away, sadly, is Lily.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
She said hello. Do you know what we're both doing today? Of course, you all don't know what we're both doing today because you can't see us. Sad for you, but good for us because then we don't have to wash our hair for these episodes, and that's pretty great.
I did curl mine this morning, though, which people should know.
You did?
Yes.
Mine is like is a couple days old curl, but when I curl my hair, it really likes to linger because I use a curling wand. So
excellent.
I'm always very proud of the find of the curling wand in my life. But it is hair wash day because tomorrow's church day, so we're gonna. But so yeah. Anyways, so what we're both doing, it's not talking about that wild tangent. We're both hooking. And if you're not a crocheter and you've stumbled onto this podcast and you don't know what that is, I'm just going to let you figure it out because it's more fun like that.
Hint, it's in the title.
Yeah, if you found this podcast, you were obviously looking for something specific. So take luck, everyone.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, goodness.
Yep.
What are you hooking over there?
Well, I am working on an ear warmer. I know it's a quick project that I don't have to think about. Every once in a while, I'll count my stitches just to make sure I haven't dropped one or added one.
Sure.
But it's I think it was a Daisy Farm Crafts pattern that I had found years ago.
I love them.
And it's just the one that has the little twisted knot at the the top of the head. I guess you could wear it in the other way too.
Oh yeah.
And it's just some market prepping. I don't have a lot of markets this year. But I haven't made many of them for a couple of years, and they when I have them, they usually sell well. So it's just a nice thing. I also think you know what it was. I was rearranging my yarn, and I had bought a bunch of the Bernat velvet yarn, which I really do love, and I'd had that taking up one of the cubes in my yarn shelves, and then I bought other yarn. What did I buy that I wanted to replace it with? Oh, sugar. I don't know. But I had bought something and I was like, oh, I want that in the cube. And I was like, I guess I'll have to pull out the velvet. And then when I pulled out the velvet, I was like, I bought all this velvet to make a bunch of ear warmers just for markets. I should probably do that. So here I am.
I feel like I need to draw attention to the fact that you said, oh, this yarn I wanted to replace this yarn in this cubby with. And it's like, you didn't. At first I was like, oh, she's stash busting for her market. And then like, I should have thought.
No, I had already bought new yarn. Yeah, no,
no. Oh, you'd already bought it. It's on standby. It's just waiting to come out of the bag into the bin. That's pretty much my life. I did that the other day. Can I tell a quick I'm so proud of me story? That could have gone horribly wrong. So I went to Hobby Lobby this week because it was yarn week, and that's great. But the fun part is I went in there for a specific yarn for this little Chloe Cardi mini that I'm working on right this very second. And I was like, I gotta go in there this week. I've got to go and get this yarn. I ran out because I thought I was in a scrap bust and it's going to be cool, but now I need another skein. Classic.
Yep.
So I go in there, not really thinking about what I need at that exact moment because I was like, all I remembered was must go to Hobby Lobby, get yarn, like very Neanderthal crochet cave woman ways. And I go in and I have this complete other palette on my mind that Shop Dear Heart is using during my pattern my Chloe Cardi pattern test. Go in there and I'm all focused on getting those, and I pay and I get home and guess what I didn't get? The yarn that I needed for the cardigan that I would work. Yeah. So my friend Allie tells me, oh, nicely played, Melly. You quote forgot the yarn, so you could go back to Hobby Lobby. Oh, sure. I said, no, for real.
You're like, no, this time wasn't a mistake.
It wasn't a mistake. So now I go back. My husband's in the car with me after the gym, and I go, okay, listen, don't make a face. I have to go to Hobby Lobby. Don't make a face. I have to go to Hobby Lobby and get this one skein of yarn.
And did you?
One skein. I pull in the parking lot and I go, time me. I've got this. I said, don't time me too hard.
No.
But time me. Okay. So I go in, I grab the skein. I do take a fleeting gander glance at some of those other sparkly yarns. I walked out of there spending $3.75 on the one skein of yarn.
Well done.
Where is the applause button we can hit? I hope you're all cheering for me, because that is virtually unheard of.
That is wonderful.
Don't do that.
And not to mention, with a little bit of a gander down the other eye, you know what I mean? You had a little look-see, and then then you were like, no, I'm just going to get the one skein.
I even touched a few of them. That's going to be the title of the episode. Oh God.
Not me second guessing the title of episode 4 after I'd already posted it, going, oh my God, out of context, that looks so bad. And then I was like, I've committed to it, it's fine.
And then me saying, "Oh no, I touched a few of them." That's probably the title. I'm already committing to it. But
we tried to make a family friendly podcast. I don't think it's really in our blood.
I mean, are children really listening to this? It's not. We didn't go that off topic.
No, but we wanted to make sure that folks didn't have to listen to this after hours, right? I wanted to make sure it was.
There's no cursing.
No,
we didn't curse. We're good. We're good, mommy.
We are.
We're good.
We are. Hey, I want to tell a different story, because your story made me think of a story that's totally not crochet related, but it's really cute. And
I love that for us.
Did I cut you off? Were you done?
No. I was just saying, how I was going to tie that up was I wanted to prove to all you hookers out there that it can be done. You can walk out with just what you went in there to get. The end.
Yeah, I feel like that was your one go at that, though. If that happens again.
No, the universe, I've served the universe its favor. Yeah. It's done. It will never happen again.
So I have to tell a really cute story about when my husband and I were dating, because of just how you described your, I promise I didn't do it on purpose. So, my husband and I met through my best friend, shout out to Andrea, and, she, he's a special ed teacher. She's a paraprofessional in his classroom, and she was like, you have to meet this guy. And I was like, I don't know. So we had a couple of setups in group things. And then, one thing led to the next, and we were going on our first date. And I was making a joke. She and I were living in an apartment together at that time. And that was really fun. And so I was saying to her one day, I was like, oh, maybe I'll do something really cute and accidentally forget my jacket in his car or something. And I was like, no, that's so silly. I wouldn't do that. And so we went on our date.
Narrator pops up over. The narrator pops up over your story and goes, but ladies and gentlemen, she would do something like that.
But I actually, so what's funny, because, similar to your story, is I didn't forget it on purpose. It wasn't a wink, wink, got to go back to the store. It was, I got dropped off after our date, and, was checking in with Andrea probably about, how it was going or how it went or whatever. And then I was like, I don't have my jacket. She was like, you didn't. And I was like, no, I swear I did. Hold on, maybe it's in my, whatever. And then I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I left it in his car.
And Andrea this whole time is going, yeah, you filthy, rotten liar. You totally did this on purpose.
I didn't, though. I promise. It is funny that it happened. I mean, I think I willed it into existence by saying I wanted to. Sure. Yes. But the story gets funnier because of just my husband's personality and whatnot. So I texted him and I was like, hey, by the way, I think I left my jacket in the front seat of your car. He was like, oh, I'll go check. And he was like, yeah, you did. And I was like, oh man, I can't believe I did that. He's like, don't worry, I'll give it to Andrea at work on Monday.
Sir, what is this practical man doing? Oh my gosh, no sir.
Yep.
You're supposed to say, oh, I'll give it to you next time on our date.
Right.
Where
or
is that?
I'll swing by tomorrow and drop it off. Any chance to see you again.
So I can
right?
see you. Yeah. I mean, at that point, every girl, even the most logical girl on the planet is going, wow, that must not have gone well. He's not making up an excuse to see me.
Well, the other thing that's funny about our dating kind of early dates were that both of us were just so awkward that probably without Andrea's help, we would have just been like, yeah, I don't think he's interested, and I don't think she's interested either. We're just
your
two weirdos.
Your children would not exist without the help of Andrea. That's an odd thing. Have you sent her a thank you note?
Oh, many. She knows.
Thank you note.
She knows. She's actually
Hi, Andrea.
She's very good at matchmaking, so I got to give her a lot of props.
I love that.
We're not her only successful setup.
I matched one couple up, and I am thrilled to say they are still married. They have like 3 kids, and I
all because of you.
Feel like all because of me. I always tell them, I'm like, you wouldn't be this blissfully happy without me. I hope you thank God in your prayers nightly for me. I'm just saying.
Nightly. Every single night.
Nightly. When you kiss your children goodnight, I hope you think of me.
Good night. Sleep tight. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Remember to thank Melissa that you exist. Okay, bye.
I mean... I still run into them every once in a while, and I'm like, "You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome."
God.
I still haven't gotten my fruit basket, just so you know. I'm waiting for that.
I can't.
Oh my God! Can we also the way I just shouted back? You shouted back to group dating.
Yeah,
that was fantastic. The days of group dating. Does anybody group date anymore?
I don't know.
I mean, we're wildly not on the topic of crochet right now, but come on, this is relatable. Like if you dated at all in the late 90s, early 2000s, probably that group dating was a massive hit. Yeah. I mean, that's how you got your first little, oh my God, you're so cute. Oh my God, you are too. We should hang out in a non-group setting. I mean, that's pretty much, how it was, flip your hair and, now we don't flip our hair because...
In my case, I'm so socially awkward in certain situations that I don't think, I don't know. I don't see it having gone well without the support of the group. And then just the break too, you know what I mean? Okay, we've been chit-chatting and whatever, and now I don't know what to say. Okay, let me talk to somebody else for a little while.
Yeah. When you say socially awkward, again, we are rabbit holing here, but I came across yet another meme that was licensed specifically for Lily, where it said, when you're socially awkward but you try to fit in, and it shows the person saying, "So gum has gotten particularly more minty lately. Have you noticed?" I said, but here's the weird thing. I don't think I'm necessarily socially awkward, but that's something I would say. And I was like, oh God. Just to make I don't like silence. I don't.
Yeah. I remember reading somewhere that the purpose of small talk, and why does everybody talk about the weather when they first start talking? So I in a true nerdy Lily fashion, I kind of went down that rabbit hole of oh, interesting, I never understood there was a purpose to small talk, right? And it's just a way to kind of take the temperature of the conversation, is this person going to engage with you or not, or whatever? And it's such a neutral topic. And so after learning that, I was I kind of love talking about the weather. So it just amplified the hey, so the blizzard a couple weeks ago, man, glad the snow's finally melted, huh? It's great out. God, we had fake spring last week. That was lovely. Back to winter. Jeez, it's 30-degree weather. I had to turn the heat on this morning, before it started the car.
I've just realized that when you get older, talking about the weather, like you said, was kind of a gap fill, and now it's it's all we talk about. We're oh my gosh, you horrible Bijan, how dare you have nice spring weather while I'm, torrentially under snow. And it's become a funny source of topic, and that seems ironic to me. I don't know.
That's great.
So, hi, welcome to the show, everybody.
We're 15 minutes deep, Melissa.
We've not even gotten to the topic. I hope you're relating really hardcore today.
This might be a longer episode.
Apologies.
Nah.
Sorry.
We don't apologize for anything, man. We're good.
It's fine. It's fine. You chose to be here, and you can choose to leave.
That's
we hope
true.
You don't.
Fast forward. You know what? I'll timestamp it, right? Fast forward to 22:24 for the crochet talk.
Fast forward if you don't like shenanigans and malarkey, okay? But if you do, just know that we're judging you and we know how to track that, okay?
Don't track it. Oh my God.
Wouldn't that be great?
Don't make them paranoid, Melissa. God. Lord. So why'd you stop listening to the podcast? Well, I started to feel like Melissa was getting in my head a little bit much, and so... Also, I don't know if you've noticed, but Lily's called her Melissa like 5 times this episode, and she never does. What's up with that? It's fine.
She must be mad at her.
You were moving on. Let's move on. Let's keep moving on.
Well, normally we ask like what we're drinking, and I was gonna lament on the fact that I have very, very cold coffee, but I do have water, and I can't. One might think, well, Melissa, why did you not heat your coffee up before the podcast? Well, let me explain this to you, dear listeners. The reason the coffee cannot be heated up is because I'm using one of those fancy schmancy mugs that has like the gold overlay on it. And if you put it in
you wish not to break your microwave.
For 0.207 seconds, you will set the house on fire. How do I know this? Well, I'm so glad you asked.
Great.
I forgot momentarily one day, and I did put it in for 0.027 seconds. And I heard a crackle right at the beginning, and I was like, oh no!
Yikes.
And literally on this mug, it does not take long for a reaction to happen.
No.
Don't test this theory. There's literally like little pieces of gold missing from the top of my beautiful mug. So if I want to reheat this, I must go transport it and relocate it to another mug. And it just seemed like a lot of work. And as you can tell, I've probably had enough. So I decided just to stick with the water for this particular episode. Maybe next time.
I do have my coffee. In fact, I finished my coffee earlier today and made more coffee, which is not really a thing I do because I just pour it from a bottle in the fridge. But for the episode. Now, do you drink iced coffee, Melly?
I do. I do. I rarely drink it. I might actually have one today because when I talk about iced coffee, I want iced coffee, but I don't drink it as a general go-to from home. Normally, if I'm out and I'm making like a coffee run, then I want something iced. I don't know. There's got to be some kind of mental,
people have their things, right? Like, so my husband will not drink hot coffee, doesn't like it, refuses.
Wow.
And then for me, it depends. But I'm chuckling because you're, off in Florida, whatever temperature it is over there, and drinking your once upon a time hot coffee, and I'm, in my New England spot where, it's actually a decently warm day at 51, and I've got my iced coffee, and but yeah, my husband will drink iced coffee if it's -6 out. He doesn't care. So well, listen, here's the thing. When it's -6 out, those ice cubes aren't going to water down your coffee. Have you ever thought of that? It's true.
Just going to say, the ice don't melt. This is the thing. My husband and I will eat chili in the summer. We'll eat ice cream in the winter. And the cool thing about the ice cream, he will die on this hill, I swear. He'll be like, the ice cream doesn't melt. And he's like very adamant about this. I said, babe, I feel as strongly as you do. Okay. You don't have to be upset. Like, I feel like he's ready to like go to the mattresses on this with somebody, like Godfather style. I'm like, babe, I'm on your side. You don't have to be this passionate about it in front of me, although it's very cute. But yeah, he's like, it won't melt. I'm like, well, yes, honey, because it's cold. And I love him so much. He's great. He doesn't get that vehement about things that often, but when he does feel strongly, I'm all about it. You should hear him talk about how coffee's not a diuretic, and he's done research and how it's actually like good for men to drink coffee. I mean, the things that I feel like men and women hyperfixate on separately is a complete study all on its own. I just love it.
Now, we covered beverages. You've got water. I've got coffee. I'm making an ear warmer. What are you working on over there?
I'm working on a Chloe Cardi mini edition, mini mod. So I just announced that this past week, and people were very excited. My thing with that was I figured people were probably going to try to modify it anyway. So I was like, I might as well just tell them how to do it. So
I love it.
We're working on that. We're pre-testing it and doing that. So I've got this little, I don't know whether I'm supposed to say age range or if I'm supposed to say size, because I consider this 6 to 8 age range, I put it on my kid. She's 9 or 10 nearly. Yeah. And,
but you know what? Kids come in all different shapes and sizes. So somebody else's 6-year-old might not wear,
Exactly. So. Exactly. That's where the beautiful sizing info is going to come in. Hopefully very handy for people. And, that's the journey. But yeah, that's my work on today. And
excellent.
It's not my only whip, but it's one of many because I have, as you know, 4 or 5 patterns in the fire right now that I'm trying to juggle.
Just a small handful.
It's fine. I have one for almost every day of the week.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Sure.
It's totally
From
normal.
the person that was never going to make a pattern. So it's totally fine.
Every dang episode.
I didn't do it last episode. I'll give you a break next episode too. All right.
Where's the only on numbered episodes?
We'll just do every other because that's fun for me. We're 20 minutes into our 30-minute episode, and we just got through our 3 to 5 minute greeting per our outline.
That's good. That bodes well.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this for us.
I feel like this leads into a nice thing, though. You know, when you talk about having 5 patterns, which all sounds like, oh, this is great. You know, and people are telling me, this is great. We're excited, Melly. I'm so glad that you're doing this. You know, keep them coming. And I'm like, okay, listen, I am all for honestly, if you're thinking about designing, once the creative juices do start flowing, if you're really like built for it, because I think your brain does have to be able to operate at a very specific, what's the word? Not speed. It has nothing to do with that. The way you kind of can construct things mentally before you actually put it out there, you know? And if you have a talent for doing that, like a natural kind of thing, I don't know you can turn it off. It's very difficult. So I've had people tell me that before. People literally told me the same thing, like, oh no, once you start, it's like, you know, the fun don't stop.
I do agree. And so the very first pattern I created, because I was kind of in your space of, you know, I'm never going to do patterns. And I remember talking to my friends about it, and, you know, they were like, you could come up with some stuff. And I was like, I probably could. I was like, I don't think I want to. And part of the reason I really was hesitant was because like crochet pattern like theft and resale is such a bigger thing than I would like to believe that it is, and it's scary. And so you know, I've not experienced it myself, thank goodness, and knock on wood, and I know other people have, and to different degrees, but like I was at a point where I was like, I don't think I could handle it if I, you know, make something and put time and energy and effort into the pattern and the PDF and whatever, just to find somebody else has, you know, lifted it and they're selling it for themselves. And then the more I was doing, you know, tests and just crocheting and getting into it, I was like, I have ideas. And then my very first, like, I think real, well, maybe not very, I think I put out a little mini mushroom because I was coming up with something for a market.
You did.
As
I
a free pattern.
It for you.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was free. I did it.
Yeah.
I still have that mushroom.
That one's really fun. So if you haven't, popped over to my Instagram, folks, and check out my market mushroom. It's really
so
quick.
Fast. It's so fast.
Yeah. Well, and at that point, I was doing Summer's Stitch Sister, her Granny Flora mushroom, and I was just loving the construction of that, and I was like, I think I could do this in a mini way, and so I reached out to her. She was like, yeah, go for it, and I was like, great. And so that, I guess, was my first 3D one. But then I was testing for surprise Kaylee from Hobbs and Stitches, and
she gets a shout out every single episode.
I have to. She's my bestie.
She's amazing.
So I was testing her Sophie Unicorn. Which, of course, I was like, I have to test that one for so many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And
which I tested it as well. That is when fate brought us all together, me and Kaylee, actually.
It's true, but also Melissa tested everything that year, so we're not surprised.
But we talked about that and covered that. We did.
I just like my callbacks because they make me feel special. And they remind me that my brain works sometimes. Okay, so short story long. I was testing Sophie, the unicorn, for Kaylee, and I was sitting working on it one day, and I was like, gosh, probably with not too much modification, this would make a really cute dinosaur. And then I was like, I wonder if she would be even like up to collaborating. And the amount of time I spent thinking about asking her to collab was hilarious.
Hilarious.
I hadn't really come into my crochet confidence at that time. But then I ended up messaging her. I was like, what do you think about this? And she was like, I love it. And I was like, and you don't mind? She's like, no, of course, let's do it. And I was like, okay. And so then out of that came Drew Dino and Trevi Triceratops, which also you tested for me, and probably a good portion of the Sophie group as well. And that was it. And I was excited to do it, and I was excited to, modify it, and I couldn't turn it off. And it was just like, I have like a nice kind of base to work from, and I want to, grow from there and expand from there. And it was great. I loved it. It was so much fun. I was so glad she was open to it. And I think at that point she and I were like, what else could we use with this structure? And she's made so many more patterns since then, and I had ones that I wanted to make, and then just got distracted by something shiny, so that didn't happen. But it's okay. And my favorite part about the 2 dinos is that I got to poke fun at my brother for a little bit, because I was trying to think of, like, there's such an alliteration theme across pattern names, right? And so Drew Dino, and so then I was trying to think of, like, what's a good D name for the dino. I think I'd asked the group, and there were some suggestions. I was like, I don't like any of them, and it popped in my head. My brother's name is Drew, and I was like, Drew Dino. And then I looked, and there weren't any Drew Dinos. And then the best part of it is he and his wife have the sweetest little dog named Trevi, and I was like, oh, Drew Dino and Trevi Triceratops.
Oh, I'd forgotten. Did you ever share that about the dogs? I forgot about that.
Probably.
That's great.
Yeah. Oh, it made me so happy. It made me so happy.
That makes me happy. I love it. And then you had, I'm probably going to get the name wrong, and I'm going to explain why I'm worried about that, but you had Piggy?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay, so the reason I get nervous about getting the name wrong, not because I've tested a bunch of different things, but normally I can remember pretty well. But my daughter likes to rename everything that I make and I give her, as true children like to do.
Of course.
And I want you need to understand that literally today she plays with Piggy all the time. She has renamed it Mittens, by the way.
I'm gonna cry.
Mittens. She plays with Piggy all the time.
Really?
Constantly. Constantly in her, listen, it's so sweet. Constantly in her little baby carriage, along with 2 other babies that I've made her. Well, she thinks I made them for her, but she just takes them. And literally those long arms of that cute little Piggy. I need to make another one, I swear. I love the long arms.
I still need to make a mini one, because remember I made Haven after Piggy, and then
yes,
and then I made the mini ones, mini Maeve. I remember when I was coming up with that, I was like, oh, I should do a mini Piggy. That would be really fun, and I still need to. But I've been so busy helping you with all your dang patterns, I haven't had any time. But it's fine. It is a problem.
It is a problem.
Piggy makes me so happy, though, because Piggy was designed after a toy that I had when I was a kid that I loved so much. And I was like, gosh, and that was the one that, I was inspired to make the dinos and modify Kaylee's. But this one, I was like, oh, my first real thing, like, came from my brain and inspired by something I had as a kid. And so cute. But yeah, it was this monkey stuffy that is now pales in comparison to Piggy, and had long arms and legs with weights in them that you could wrap around and hang off of you and whatever, and it was so fun to play with.
Amazing.
And I was like, that would be a great crochet make. So I didn't mean to accidentally plug all my patterns, but pop over to my Etsy if you want them.
It's fantastic. Everyone should go buy them. They're actually fantastic. I know, because I have made many of them.
I ask you to test everything, and sometimes you can't, and that's fine. I only cry for a little while.
I think what happened too with like Maeve and Haven was I know at the time I remember I had to say no, and that was really, I remember it because I'm thinking like that was really hard for me to do. Yeah. And I feel like it was during a time I was actually photographing weddings quite a bit. During wedding season, and I just couldn't. There was no way for me to fit it in and be an actual rational human being anymore.
It's
so,
fine.
But this year I'm way better with all the stuff. But it's that little Piggy thing though. She has swung that thing around. I can tell you the construction is solid because she swings that thing around with those arms. So it totally is solid.
I love that she loves it so much.
She does. If I made her a Maeve and a Haven, she would be equally as pleased. I'm sure she must love your design structure and everything. I need to make her another one and go like Lisa Frank style inspired, or do like a sock monkey.
Please.
Or something. Cool.
Oh, that would be really fun. Yeah. That would make a really great make-a-thon.
Piggy-thon. We should do a piggy-thon.
What if I finally have time to figure out Mini Piggy, and then we could do it in celebration of Mini Piggy?
Yeah, and then you could make either size. Yep. I just gave you a task. I'll put it on our spreadsheet.
On our very long to-do list, yes. So 2027 sounds good, right? We'll still be
that
doing
sounds
that.
Great.
Then.
Yeah, everybody mark your calendars. So it what we were going to talk about today is we're about 31 minutes in or whatever it is.
Whatever.
We were going to try to get around to talking about how good things, how people say too much of a good thing, blah, blah, blah. And the phrase can go two ways. I feel like too much of a good thing is a great thing, or sometimes too much of a good thing is not a great thing. And I kind of wanted to lean into that because what I've been feeling lately is like I call back to, I have 5 patterns, I think, in my brain working on right now, very simultaneously. That's never happened. I kind of compounded. I had 2 at one time, and then things started to blend, and I was like, oh, I've got this cardigan. Cool. That has been a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
Definitely don't start ever your first, this is my 4th pattern, I think. And if it had been my first, I would never have designed again.
Well, and I think, just to reference the way that you're designing it, because I put out a cardi recently too.
Yes.
And the patterns are, they couldn't be further from each other. They're so different because you're doing such a nice job with sizing and, figuring that out. And like most traditional garment patterns, you're, hey, this is what you'll do for this size and how many stitches and whatever. Whereas mine, because I didn't want to go through any of that because our brains work very differently. I was like, hey guys, here's how to make a bespoke cardigan. So you're going to measure it based off of your body or the body of the person that you're wearing. And if they're not there, then you'll need like a sweater to model it after. But, for folks that are, perhaps just getting into garments or wondering if there's more than one way to do things, there are. And, your approach, Melly, is really comprehensive and I think wonderful in that way. And also, I couldn't imagine taking that on and just like having, not to mention just all the extra pages in the PDF itself, but then figuring that out. And what number sweater is this that you're working on now for yourself? Like, not for yourself.
I've
5 or 6 or
I've made 6 for myself.
Yeah. So even that alone, I think I ended up making 3 when I was writing up the pattern for the Gladys Cardi. And even at that point, I was like, I can't do this anymore. So to make 6, like I wouldn't have been able to.
I actually thought the other day I need to count up approximately how many Chloe squares I've made since like I started the Chloe journey. She far outweighs how many I made of Juliet so far. But the thing about this cardigan too is it has to be very much more specific than say one that has just a back panel, because if you have a back panel, you can pretty much size that to fit and then just work from that.
Right.
But the issue that I've come across is when you're working with granny squares, you have to have a somewhat average size that you can somehow lay across anywhere from maybe an extra small, because let's face it, if you're an extra small, you're probably in the child's clothing sizing. You're tiny, you're teeny baby, and ain't no shade throwing at you, but I don't know how to size an XXS. I just don't know how to do that. The cardigan is made for true to fit sizing, and I know that's a hard concept nowadays because most people are like, no, I wear everything oversized. Well, it's cool. That doesn't mean you can't make this cardigan. It's just your true fit. If you are this, I have the measurements of the back panel. Measure your shoulders, shoulder to shoulder. If you are right around that, you probably want to use a larger hook size. I'm giving all
or if you want something that has a little bit more positive ease, then you can size up. And,
exactly. Yeah. And I'm giving all. It was my concern was that I people were going to feel like they couldn't do it, and I was like, what? It's an advanced pattern. But it's also now labeled as an advanced pattern. That way, people who may buy it and are beginners and are thinking, no, I can do it. If you come to me with questions, I'm going to be like, listen, I very explicitly say this is an advanced pattern.
Are you doing videos for this one like you did for the other ones?
Oh, I have, yes, 100%. I have 2 joining videos.
Above and beyond, ladies and gentlemen. She goes above and beyond in her pattern.
The joining videos alone are a huge mega time suck for sure, but they're so necessary. And I do have 3 sizes. I ended up adding a size after I did my joining videos, but I'm not planning to do a joining video for that 3rd size. And here's why. I just want to put this out here on the internet, that the larger size, like there's only 2 ways you can really join this. You can join it for an odd number of squares on the back or an even number of squares on the back. And the way the front panels join, join the same way, basically. The method does not change. So far, my testers who are testing all the sizes have not said I need another joining video. However, if I do, I will scrap one together really fast and make it happen, but we'll see.
If anybody can do it, it's you. Yeah.
There's a joining video for joining the sleeves. I've had already testers who put together. My pre-testers were the gold. They're always the gold because they go through all the growing pains and the trauma of like, hey, this cardigan you made, it's not going to be, it's not the way the pattern actually says. And that's, that's hard to tell people. Well, like, and, you can still show it.
There's two different things going on here too, right? There's, you figured out how to construct a sweater real time with yarn, and then now I have to tell other people how I did that. And those are two different skills. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So from that, though, I started thinking, well, everybody always wants to make a mini version of stuff. Mm-hmm. If it's wearable, every mom on the planet's like, I want to make one for my mini. Oh, yeah. I get it. I feel the same way. We all want to match our kids, So I was like, I might as well get ahead of this because people are going to try to do it anyways. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and get ahead of it so I can just tell people how to do it the way I think they should do it. So. Mm-hmm. And the way I'm going to take the guesswork out. So I started doing that. And then from there, one day I had these scraps of Juliet squares lying around, and I had extra Chloe squares lying around. And I'm like, well, for those that don't know, those are my kids. Those are my daughter's names. I'm like, wow, what if I've been thinking about making a purse. What if I just tried to join these squares together? Yeah. Literally sat down, probably less than an hour and a half. I joined the squares together. Yeah.
And it's so cute.
Okay, so this is a bag now, and now I'm going to post it, and I know what's going to happen. I'm going to have at least 4 people tell me, hey, you should totally tell me how to do that, and that happens. So I was like, okay, I guess that's in the queue now. So now that one's in there, and then I have one I'm working on with Motherhook Fiber Co. And I'm doing a pattern for our yarn collab that we're doing, and then I have one that I haven't even told people about. I've told like 3 people. We can talk more later. I sent you a picture of it, but I haven't.
Eyes, folks. We're not a video for our podcast, but the eyes I just made at her.
She didn't even side eye me. She direct frontal.
Anyhow,
it's on the spreadsheet. And
all right, I'll take a look at the spreadsheet.
But I have not allowed myself to pick it up because I have these other things. Like my spreadsheet is just too full. We've got a Chloe Cardi lookbook that is like imperative needs to be done so I can start throwing stuff in there. So currently looking at 5 patterns plus a lookbook. That's a lot. Is too much. It's all good things though, right? Is too much of a good thing like a good thing, or is it like, hey, I'm on the verge of burnout? And that's, I think we have to tell ourselves, are we so overstimulated? Are we overstimulating to the point, because that's the day and age we're in, if we're not busy, we're lazy. And that's just not true. I would love to go back to the way in the 90s where we weren't so overstimulated with internet and Instagram and MySpace and MySpace and Facebook and all the things that we were like, cool, I'm not doing anything. I think that's great that I'm sitting here and literally not doing anything. Yeah. So I reached a point where I know that my limit is 5. Yep. And I felt that overstimulation and that overdose coming. But right now it's just barely manageable, only because I'm surrounded by amazing people who help me. If I was doing everything on my own. Yeah.
Well, you do. You have a team. And I think that's really important.
I do. If you ever scroll to the very end of my patterns, and I please encourage you that you do, you will always see that Lily and Allie get extremely intentional, special mention with pictures included, because Allie keeps me sane every single day. She's literally like, she's my nearby, like I could drive to her house if I was panicked and I really needed to like somebody look at me and shake me a little bit. And she keeps me sane daily, literally check-ins every morning. Did you eat? Did you drink water? Like literally these are the things that we ask each other just randomly. And Lily is my further away bestie who on a more specifically mental standpoint, she checks in on me like, hey.
I've tried to get her to drive to my house, just because she needs something, but she tells me it's too far. So
it's just, haven't got the car that does that really quickly yet. It's apparently being worked on right now. So I have these people who are like my two pillars on my right and left who are like kind of holding me up and encouraging me like, no, you don't need to, like when I say I just want to scrap this and I don't want to do it, they can tell me like, well, why do you want to do it? Let's dive into that.
Usually it involves a little bit of an apology. Sorry, I made the scarf that you were going to make. I won't post it until you've actually made it. And then we push through and she continues to do the things that she was going to do.
But also, that's funny that if you've been listening, that's a callback to like 2 episodes ago. But it is a, look, well, why do you want to scrap it? Are you just burnt out? Do you just need to take a day?
Yeah.
Because I doubt you really should scrap this because I think it's going to work out. And sometimes you just need people. Everyone needs people in their life who aren't just going to go along and say, oh, sure, you should scrap it if you want to.
Right.
No.
Do whatever you want. Being a
best friend to people is not just endorsing all of their emotions. It's actually saying, hey, but why do you feel this way? And do you really think you should scrap it, something you've worked so hard on and you actually are passionate about? Like, do you love it? It's like, yes, I love it. And it's like, well, there's got to be a way that it can be figured where it can be made for other people. And
with regard to the scarf, your take on the scarf was so cool because that's how you ended up with the triangle and then the tassel, which I never would have thought of. So, like, mine was a very basic, typical rectangular scarf, and I loved it because I love a block join over a granny join. But
I do too.
And I need to make one because the triangle, the way that it comes to the point, and then the one tassel at the end, gorgeous. So it's just two different takes on the same scarf. Like,
you can use the block join. You can use the block join with the triangle. You don't have to use the granny join. I mean, I will. Do the block. I love a block. That's you were talking about
burnout though, and I waited ever so patiently to and you circled back around and you said it again, and I wanted to just say I saw this thing about burnout recently that stuck with me, which said that burnout happens when you work really hard and your work is not appreciated. So I think though we can burn ourselves out, the burnout is less likely to happen. It's more like the overload, overwhelm, like I need to take a break and press pause, like for myself to be healthy versus like, I don't see that second part happening in this case for you in terms of you for yourself and for, the appreciation of everybody who loves your pattern. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, we don't want to have so much that you like can't breathe and now you're just go all the time and don't have time to relax and dream about simpler times in the 90s.
And that's why the mats, we just finished a mat and I said, listen guys, regretfully, that's going to be the last one for probably a few months because I have to focus on these other things. And I know it doesn't seem like I'm always as present in the mats, but I actually am. I'm always a ghost. I always am reading. I always pop in. You were in the last one. I joined the conversation. I was actually pretty involved in that one. So while I don't always do the challenge itself, because I'm behind the scenes trying to make sure, oh gosh, I hope everyone's happy. I hope everyone's motivated. I hope it's more of a mental energy burnout. It's definitely self-induced. I have never been burnt out by other people because everyone has been truly nothing but supportive. And I just want to give that huge shout out to literally the community because the amount of joy that is shown for any idea I feel like I've been blessed to put out there has really been, it's very mind-boggling to me. And I hope it's not looked at like I'm taking it for granted because I guarantee you every single comment, I see it. I try to respond to 95% of them if I can. And I just appreciate them so much.
Yeah. And I think, it's not like you're also cranking things out to, turn a profit. You know what I mean? Like the amount of energy and effort you put into creating your patterns and refining them and making sure that the quality of the pattern and the project is meeting your expectations. I think that really speaks to like, you just have an idea generating brain and you see it through and, you push forward and put stuff out. And I mean, I love that. I think that's great. I think we're also at 45 minutes now.
Nice. We should probably simmer down, huh?
Maybe.
But I do see it. I can only see it through though with you helping me with the pattern design side of things and getting me going, and with many others just being very supportive. Like, hey, did you work on this? And Allie randomly drawing graphics saying, "Hey, I'm going to sketch this out for the baby mod, for a mini mod." And I'm like, "You go for it." And she does it, and that's literally what the pre-tester group is going off of. It's not even a drawing that I did. It's for one that I did. So we all support each other,
Yes.
you know. Hey, do you want to add anything to? I loved your comment about like burnout can be more self-inflicted as well. That was very enlightening, actually.
Sure. I mean, I just like to spend way too much time doom scrolling from my burrito in my bed. So I absorb all kinds of little nuggets that I like to share in that way.
You're just smart.
Sometimes. Gosh, too much of a good thing is, you know, I think the way that I want to look at this today in this situation is too much of this can't give you a cavity the way that too much sugar can. So,
true.
I do think too much of a good thing has its place. But I think it very much depends on the perspective that you're bringing to it and whether or not it fits in your life. And, you know, is it pulling you away from other things? I think there's definitely been times where I've gotten so invested in a project or something that I'm working on that, you know, I'm, you know, irritable around my kids and, like, hey guys, I got stuff to do. Or, you know, there was a time, gosh, I was making a lot of embroidered sweaters a few years ago, which was really cool and really fun. It's not one of my favorites, but I still like doing it. And I am kind of grateful that I don't get a ton of orders anymore, but I do have some like reliable standbys that are always reaching out, like, oh, another friend had a baby, and I need a sweater, and but I was working on so many of them that, you know, my husband at one point, he was like, gosh, like, you're just in your craft room all weekend long. Like, are we ever going to see you again? Right. And I was like, oh, well, that is too much of a good thing. You know what I mean? And I wanted to be doing that work and making those sales and, you know, spreading my crafts and making people happy, but not at the expense of my family, you know? And so it required a little bit of a readjustment, which is tough. My brain really likes to get hyper-focused on things, and it's difficult for me to pull back, especially when those are the things that are exciting and thrilling, and you know, it's like, oh, well, I'll just work through dinner. If you guys don't mind, just have dinner without me. And then it's like, oh gosh, I've done that for the entire weekend, and well, that's not good. And my kids are asking, you know, why am I here but I'm not here? And there was a couple of years ago, my daughter had some challenges, and I finally put it together. Like, I was working on something for myself. I was working on something for like a crafty project for a work thing. I had markets that I was gearing up to, and I was like, gosh, she's barely spent any time with me. That's probably a lot of what's feeding this, you know, difficulty that we're having right now. Right. And so trying to balance that and you know, regulate my brain so that I'm not just like full steam ahead into everything, and you know, and that one's been hard for me too, because I get so excited about the opportunities that I just want to say yes to everything, and then it's required me to, you know, set some boundaries. And I had to do that recently with some logo design work that I was doing, which is just another thing that I enjoy, but is, you know, not crochet related. And I finished one in January, and I had planned to work on one in February, and then sadly, you know, if you've listened to the previous episodes, I had to say goodbye to my dog in February, and so I reached out to the other person. I was like, I can't do this in February, like, it's gonna have to wait. And I had planned for it to wait a week, and then I was like, oh, maybe another week, and it ended up being the whole month. And it was, you know, and it was for different reasons, but it was just like, I can't do this right now. And so now I am working on that, and that should be done soon, which I'm excited for. But yeah, I mean, it requires boundaries and organization, and
boundaries, regulation, and learning how to say no at the right time. You know, it's, I think everyone listening can probably, especially if you're a mom, you understand the struggle with not saying yes to everything. You want to say yes. You know, I think there's an inherent part of most people that we want to please others, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. That desire is actually good. That means you want to be a good person. You want to show kindness to people, but never say yes so much that it's at the expense of, you know, yourself, your life and your balance and your family and, you know, things like that. Hey, how long did this episode run?
We're at 49 minutes and 26 seconds. I think that's hysterical for a is there too much of a good thing topic, because it's our longest episode yet. And I'm currently thinking Maybe we should skip our UFO for the week, our
We will.
unfiber popular opinion. Unpopular
Popular fiber opinion.
Let's skip over that this week because
Yep, we'll hit you next time.
Yeah.
We've got ideas.
Yeah.
You'll be fine, guys.
Don't
be
worry.
fine. But we do hope that you at least heard through some of the ramble jamble today and feel like, oh wow, I feel seen. You know, I totally get that. Just a lot of big point of these episodes is like, hey, you're not alone. You know, like we feel so many of the same things. Like it's cool, and you know, we're not here giving advice, but we're just here to talk it out. And
you know,
fun,
we're not giving advice in the form of, hey, here's some advice for you. But I think, you know, and I've said this in so many of the make-a-thons in so many different ways, there's so much power in sharing our stories and sharing your story and, you know, connecting with people and reminding people that you're human and you're not a robot and this is what you're going through. And, oh gosh, I don't remember her name, her handle, she's a young girl and she's doing so well. Do you remember her name, her handle, Melly? I think she has
Charlotte.
I think she has red hair.
Yeah, Charlotte. Color Between Chapters.
So that's it. Color Between Chapters. So shout out to her. She had posted something recently, I think to her story, saying, you know, she had something she was wanting to get out and she didn't get to, and she was so sorry. And I messaged her right away and I said, never apologize. Never apologize for being human and for taking a little extra time. And, you know, people will understand. They'll wait for you. Yep. They're excited for you. They don't want you to burn yourself out just to get them something out. You know what I mean? So
I love that you did that.
Oh yeah, you know. Do you think I could have not, knowing who I am?
She's the sweetest. Yeah, she's the sweetest, most kindest girl. And I just want to say, like, we're not these creepy moms who are talking about this little girl. She is a doll. Her mom helps run her account. I am personally actually friends with her mom on her account.
Great. Yeah.
So she is very much. I didn't want anybody to be like, there's this child on the internet.
No, I know. It was probably weird how I said it.
Listen. I have strong opinions about children having their own accounts. And let me tell you, if a child has their account, but their mom is right there, you know, she's regulating it because she's doing the videos for her and it's talked about. And I love that they do that. And I think there's a right way to do it. And they have done it. And she is such an inspiring little girl. You should go read her story. We're not even going to go into it. Just color between chapters. Go follow her and support her. That girl is a little genius. Trust me.
But I didn't want her starting at her, you know, young age with the belief that, you know, you got to bend over backwards to deliver. So, you know, you're human.
That's right.
So share your story, get it out in the world, you know, connect with people. And, you know, you don't have to be structuring your story as I'm giving you advice for somebody to take some advice from it. So with that said, thank you guys for joining us for this super extra long episode. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.